Hello and thank you so much for tuning into the iNaturalBody channel today. This video is sharing with you how I simply package the products after they have cured for 4 to 6 weeks. It's a very simple process and I hope it will be beneficial to you. Basically all I use are the 6x6 clear wrap bags such as these, and something that I like to do is insert the product where there's a decorated side. I insert that side in first so that it is secured by the manufacturer's seal. And you could do the same if you want to, especially if you have like a high top soap or a soap that has an intricate design and what have you. For this you will need a sealer, a heat sealer. I got this one off of Amazon and I believe it ran like about 24, 25 bucks. Something on this device that might go out from time to time is that heating element, so just be aware of that. So as you can see, what I'm doing right here is basically inserting the product into the bag, and like I said, I always insert with the decorated side on the manufactured seal side. And I have gone through this on several others already. This heat sealer, if you increase the temperature in such a way, there's a heat dial. If you set it like between 4 and 5, or a little bit like between, maybe not even 4 and 5, like between the 5 and 6 as I have it here, sometimes the sealer will seal in such a way that it causes the excess to just either fall off, or you can easily pull it off rather quickly. So that's an advantage. This is where the heat sealer, the heating element is. That does go out from time to time. They're not that expensive to replace. I did get one with the product when I purchased it. There was one included. And yeah, it works very well. It's very easy to do. This one has the red indicator that it lights up red to let you know that the process is complete. It does make an audible click, or you could easily look for the light to go off, to switch off, and that lets you know that it's sealed. Another thing that you're going to need are a pair of scissors. I have a small pair here, and what it is for is to cut away at the excess, because you're going to seal on two sides wherever you're having an excess of the plastic bag. My soaps aren't exactly 6x6. That would be a huge bar of soap, so I have some excess. It's very simple. You insert the product that has been bagged into the sealer and you go ahead and create the seal. And you do that on both sides. I'm just demonstrating to you here that it does indeed seal completely. Because I've waited a little while too long, I can't easily pull away at the excess to remove it. So I will use the scissors to cut that part away. Now we're going to seal this side. Doesn't take that long, maybe 4 to 5 seconds, maybe a second longer, but then if you do it immediately, you can swipe away and pull the excess without having to use your shears. So it's a very easy, very quick, very redundant process. So let's go ahead and get the rest of these sealed, and we'll work on trimming away the excess on the bars that do not allow for us to easily rip away at the excess. So now that all of them are sealed, let's go ahead and cut off the excess. And it's quite simple. You know, it's something that I found that was beneficial to do with the scissors also, was to clip off the end. Because I've noticed when I go to use the heat gun on these, that corner creates a very hard point, and sometimes it will rub against your skin, or you can feel it, and it's not that comfortable. So you might want to do that on each bar as well. All I'm doing right here is placing everything in a easier to work format. I think these bars came out so nice, and the smell, the fragrance oil that I used here, sorry about that, I just bumped the camera. The fragrance oil was like a fruity smell, and this is why I hence termed the bar Fruity Explosion, because it smelled really good. Now here's the heating gun that I have. The one that I purchased has that hook on it, which makes it easy to set aside, especially out of the way, so that no one will hurt themselves. It does have 3 temperature settings: a low, a medium, and a high, and then an off switch. But I would strongly suggest that you be careful when using this, because this thing gets really, really hot. I've repurposed a pair of winter gloves to use whenever I do use the heating gun. So you might want to do something like that as well. It kind of protects your hands while you're holding the soap in order to completely heat up the bag, so that it creates a nice seal around your product. Now what I'm doing is just turning on the gun. I'm going to allow it to heat up for a couple of moments. I almost hate to use the word gun today. I'm turning on the heating gun. And now you could do several bars at a time, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to do one at a time first. Now I've seen people do it differently. Some people start off with the side, some people start off with the face of the product, but whatever gets it sealed, and whatever you establish like a routine with, whatever gets the product completely sealed is what I'm aiming for. And just so that you can see, this thing is so hot, you can see the heating element around the circumference of the gun in the front right there. You can see how hot it is. And trust me, you do not want to touch this. It would not be a good idea to have other, especially children or animals around when you're using this type of equipment. And so I'm going to start off with the sides, my preference, and just going to move the gun rather quickly, making back and forth movements like this, while always keeping my hand or a little bit of pressure on the top of it. This way it helps to prevent like any air pockets or what have you. Now from time to time, some of the bags do not hold up against the heat, and it may or may not, like there may have a tear in the bag, and I don't worry about that unless it's like really gorging and you have to like get the product out, because you can easily take it out. But for the most part, if the bags become compromised a little, I don't worry about it. I allow it to be, and I mean, it makes it easier for people to smell the fragrance through the packaging. And yeah, you just keep on until you've done all that you can. So we've gotten all of them sealed, and you can see here where the bag did tear, and I'm not going to even worry about that because I think it will be all right. And I had that happen on a couple of the bars, so I'm not really that concerned about it. So we're going to move on into the next phase. Look, there you can see another one right here. So yeah, but like I said, it's not that crucial. I mean, it will allow your customer to still pick up your bar soap and be able to smell easily what the fragrance smells like. So yeah, it's not that big of a deal, right? So let's move on into the simple packaging, and it doesn't have to be complicated. I keep all of my labels in this little plastic bin, and I had some stickers left over from the school year, and I'll use those too when putting the final labels on the soaping products. Something that I found that works very well is having all of your materials, anything that you use, especially at the end, um, have everything in one place. And for me, I found this at a thrift shop. The little the pink box, it comes with a set of 10, and so I'm able to place my labels, different things, everything that deals with packaging and preparing my soaps for sale. So yeah, just, I mean, little odds and ends that might not seem beneficial to someone else, you will find great use out of. So back to the soaps. I printed these labels using the Avery product. Avery has a platform for helping you to put everything in order. It's very, very simple. I will upload a video detailing how simple it is in case you're on the sideline of trying to either sell your products because of this little hang up. You don't have to be. And it was very painless. And look at it. It looks so neat, so professional. And yeah, you could easily do this without much pain at all. And all I'm going to do here is just pretty much go through all of the ones that I have that are labeled Fruity Explosion. Now these will be available on the Etsy shop. I will link the Etsy shop below for those of you who are interested in purchasing a bar or who would like to keep up with our efforts in soap making. You can check those out on the website. It's a very easy process, but you do have to establish some habits so that you could have an easy flowing system when you're completed with your soaps. This is what I'm finding out, and as much as I can, I am going to share with you. Now I will tell you this, something that I was concerned about when it came to the labeling. I wanted to know what exactly I needed to have on here for the state that I live in. And in my state, the regulations are somewhat relaxed and not that much detail is absolutely required. But for me in my state, I like this bar. I'm gonna veer off here. I love the way the embeds came through the topping, and it cut right in half. I wasn't using a cutter or anything. This was cut by hand. All of this set was odd sizes, and so none of them weighed. They all weighed differently. But back to the labeling. Yes, in my state, I just have to have the fact that it's soap somewhere on the detail of the label, and I also have to make sure that I have the weight of the product, and I don't necessarily have to list the ingredients, but I believe that I will list the ingredients on my products just for my customers' sake. So yeah, I wanted to pass that along. You should check what your state requirements are for the labels if you're desiring to sell your products, because you want to make sure that you are in compliance with what's required. You don't want to get stopped and discouraged. You know, whenever you hear bad news, it doesn't really lend to encouragement, but of course it's a learning opportunity. Now that I have all of these wrapped, the next thing that I want to do is kind of embellish these a little. And remember those stickers that I held over from the school year? All I'm going to do now is have some fun and place little not language, but place little stickers that communicate something nice. on the bar of soap. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm trying to think of some other things that during this process that I learned. Oh yeah, like the pricing for the bags. I got the little heat seal bags, those bags. I got those off of Amazon and they came in a lot of 100. I don't like that it's only 100. I think I would like to be able to order them in bulk. And reading other forums and reading other soap forums, I learned that I could order them maybe off of eBay or even a company called Uvine in order to get a bit more, because I've made a whole lot more, and so I'm ready to start packaging those as well. So that's something that I did learn throughout this process. Initially I did make a label for this particular batch of soap. It wasn't on like a sticky type label. It was just something that I could easily cut off a regular sheet of paper like that. So I am going to utilize those. That particular label has the ingredients on it, so I'm not going to waste that effort. I'm not going to waste that at all. I'm going to go ahead and utilize that as well. I'm trying to think of what else in this process that I found beneficial. I noticed that with this particular batch of soap, after cutting it, I weighed the bars out initially. They were much heavier than what they were when I went to make the labels. You can actually see where the water had evaporated out of the soap. So the curing time is absolutely necessary, and the longer you can allow your soaps to cure, the harder the bar of soap will be. Since using my own soap creations, I've learned this also. Handmade soaps do not like any other bar of soap, but I'm learning that the handmade soaps compared to like a commercial brand bar of soap, any one of them, the handmade soaps do not like to be left in water. So immediately after using it, you want to take it out of the water. Encourage your kids and family, if they want this beautiful piece of work to last and want to enjoy the beautiful and healthy qualities of this bar of soap to last them, then by all means use it, and then place it on the side of the bathtub or on the side of the shower, because if you don't, then you're going to waste away, literally down the drain, what you could have used on your own bodies. So alright, so now that we finished putting the embellishment stickers on them, probably the number one lesson I learned in creating this batch of soap was to do as much ahead of time as possible. These labels particularly were done at the same time that I did the batch. So these labels are roughly 4 to 6 weeks old, and I was able to capture a good bit of the information. I used Microsoft Word to create these labels, and it's just created on regular paper. And what I'll do is I'll be able to just use I'll include them in the packaging, the final packaging, the mail out pretty much. And this is what they look like after the fact. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you were able to take something from my experience and place in your own experience. As always, there's a list of learning opportunity at the end of each video. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.